What's going on, everybody? Yes. Welcome to the Oracle Report. We are in this thing. Better late than never. All right, we're going to be getting started in just a few moments. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are officially in episode 2 of the Oracle Report. All right. I'm happy to have everybody with me this evening. Thank you for holding down. If y'all was waiting for me to start, I appreciate you guys for your patience. Technical difficulties. I'm using this little fancy smashy camera. So, just a little trial and error. All right. So thank y'all for rocking with me. Here we go. I'm going to learn how to use this StreamYard one of these days. All right. So today's show, we're going to be talking about a very near and dear topic to me. It's sustainability. And sorry, my chair is making noises and I'll be wanting to know why. So, I want to talk about sustainability today, and this is a really serious topic. I know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to make a lot of light of things, but really the aspects of this topic are very, very important. Okay. And I want to talk specifically about how the sustainability agenda is kind of pushed today. So I want to talk about like what we're seeing and then what does that all equate to, because I don't know, I think you might find some interesting points as we go through the show. All right. So let's just start first off with a basic definition of what is sustainability. Okay. And you see I got the definition up here. Of course, pulled it from Google, but it's based on Oxford, I guess the Oxford definition. But to be able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. And the second definition given is able to be upheld or defended. So yes, these some interesting definitions to sustainability. I think let's start with the first one given, able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Okay. So when people are using this word sustainability and they're throwing it around, they're talking about, whatever it might be. It could be their clothing, their product, or whatever the case might be. What I've started doing is really looking at what they mean by sustainability, because what you might find is a lot of the definitions are different across the board for everybody. What I just showed on the screen was just like basic, but when you start actually getting into the merchandising and the commerce and the consumerism of it all, people's definition of sustainability changes, okay? Drastically, almost. All right. So let's get into it, man, because today we're talking about sustainability, of course, but I want you guys to know that we're going to be touching on tiny houses, food lifestyle, and clothing manufacturing in the cutting edge today. All right. So I'm just about to jump right into it because we might as well. Let's get into this cutting edge. So always come with some type of hypothesis or some type of, I don't know, foundational thought to guide the conversation. And today this is my little theorem today, okay? Downsized lifestyles are being increasingly promoted, especially among the middle class. Should we adapt to these smaller compact ideas of living? Is there any other ways to integrate practice sustainability awareness? And what are some of the mainstream ideas one can come across that promotes a downsized lifestyle? All right. So when we talk about sustainability, especially in today's world, what we're seeing today, mind you, anybody ever seen that movie Downsized? This is where I really chop up the actors' names because I don't know actors' names at all. And I should know this guy's name because it's on the tip of my tongue. Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Let's go with Matt Damon. All right, so it's this movie called Downsize, and it's a really good movie. And just a summary, it's a movie about they have this technology where it can shrink you smaller, and they talk about how economical, ergonomical, sustainable, efficient it is, and you will never have to go hungry again. And you shrink yourself smaller. You can take your life savings. It might only be $20,000, and it's worth like $1 million when you shrink yourself smaller because you'll have access, you can get more food and stuff like that. So that movie was interesting because it kind of summed up what we're going through right now in real life with the sustainability movement. And I wanted to talk about downsizing specifically with the sustainability conversation because I feel like that's kind of the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about. But everybody just kind of pushing forward with it, like, okay, yeah, we should be in tiny homes, we should be this. But in my mind, I'm looking at it like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, tiny home is cool, tiny home is awesome, right? And let me pull up a picture because I want y'all to see how dope these homes are. Okay, because they're really freaking dope. Okay, these tiny homes are super cute, super cool. They're very appealing. This is one of the biggest kitchens I've ever seen in one of these tiny homes, by the way. And I got to shout out where I got these pictures from because you never want to leave those people out. Okay. So this is a home featured on Tree Hugger. Okay. It's a tiny home from it's like an online blog called Tree Hugger. All right. So shout out to Tree Hugger. They're out here. They got some dope homes featured on here, and this is one of them, right? So this is so cute. How freaking adorable is this? Okay, come on. Who doesn't want to have a nightmare and wake up in the middle of the night and bump the out their head when they get up? What? Who doesn't want to like bump their head in the middle of the night because their dog is barking out of control? Like, who doesn't want that life? Okay, this is the cutest little thing. Okay, now you can see they got a lot of space. They got some space up in here. They reclaimed some of their space up in here, and that's nice. That's lovely. And I mean they're adorable. Like, who would not love this little tiny little home, right? For like a vacation or something, right? Let's get into it, y'all. So tiny homes is growing in popularity. And when I say they're growing in popularity, they really are. Like, a lot of people are switching over to this because they're a little bit more cost efficient to keep up. So a lot of people are just buying land and they're putting a little tiny home on it. And it's really sustainable. In the sense of, we didn't have to pay that much to get the house. And, we still have all this land in this space. And that's kind of where it ends for me, as far as the glory of it all. Outside of it being a really dope vacation idea, logically it doesn't make sense. And if we're being honest, if you have children, these type of homes, this doesn't make any sense for you to live in something like this. Okay, it doesn't make sense for you to live in something like this when you have your children like this. Like, now I'm not gonna hate on nobody lifestyle. If you're like, if you more on the like kind of for lack of a better word, just more on your gypsy swag with everything, and you do like to live more on the road and live like a more RV type of lifestyle, I'm not about to take this away from you at all. At all. Okay, I'm not about to take this away from you because I do feel like there is a customer and a person who is on that, and that's cool. But to try to sell this to every American who, first off, I don't know how y'all gonna get Texas on board because everything is big in Texas. Y'all gonna have to have a big tiny home for Texans. Okay. But they low-key some of the ones that's really like doing this stuff too. They're like the ones building it from hand. But at the same time, it kind of, the allure of it all kind of stops when you start to really see, okay, can you sustain a family in these type of environments seriously? And if you are to do that, what are some of the implications of that? And I'm already seeing, just off thinking about it, like where some problems could be coming in with organization, not having enough places to put things. And it really begs the question for me, because I'm a very multifaceted person, and I believe in organization, and I do believe you should get rid of stuff you're not using, and do clean outs a couple times a year and stuff like that. But at the same time, how much are you willing to sacrifice? And this is going to, if you have land too, if you actually have acreage of land, like, I'm trying to figure out if this is like a home that you're going to literally be permanently living in. It's not some little vacation situation. You're really on some downsizing. Like, how is this home really going to sustain you as a person throughout your years? Is the real question. Is this home sustainable for an adult who is aging, getting older, changing, having children and a family? And to me, I don't agree with it. Just being a young woman who's thinking about having a family and going through that whole situation, I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking about is space. Okay, like, I need space. Yes, I'm gonna need space outside. It needs to be a big yard. It needs to be space for them to physically play, but it also needs to be space within a home. And I don't want to have to be climbing up into some little half bi-layer to go to sleep every night with my baby. you know so what I'm saying is, it might not be the best fit for everybody. So the tiny home thing, I'm like, maybe we looking at it the wrong way. I don't know. I feel like we're looking at it the wrong way. Another reason people doing the tiny homes, and it is popular right now. I think a lot of reason that people doing it is popular. And two, I don't feel like these people are living in these homes for real. I really feel like they're really Airbnb type, very cute boutique experiences for people to have. And that's a major key. Like, with that, 185%. In regards to living full time, I do feel like there's a person for that, and not necessarily an entire society that you're going to have to convince to downsize. So the popularity is one thing, it's growing in popularity, and it's a good passive income opportunity. The other thing with these tiny homes is people keep talking about the cost. I already mentioned the cost. The cost is like about, it could be as low as a fifth of what you would pay for a regular home. So let's say a home in America is $250,000. You could easily pay $50,000 and get you a really nice tiny home. Okay, especially if you know how to do some of the labor yourself. So the cost. The last thing, and this is the big part, because this is going to lead into the whole breakdown of what I'm about to talk about with sustainability. Okay, energy. So a lot of people are downsizing and getting to these tiny homes and smaller homes because they feel that they're saving energy. And that's a big, 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 big part of this that we really need to discuss. Okay. Energy usage. It's a whole big push for us to conserve energy, right? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. By the way, I know I started late. I want to shout out to trapperoracle.com for the bamboo nightie. Okay. I'm in my little wine color bamboo nightie. As cozy as can be. So moving on. Let's talk about the food lifestyles, because I'm telling you, when you're talking sustainability and what they're pushing today, like I said, something's not really lining up. So I'm just pointing it out. I'm just gonna point it out. Okay. That's all I'm doing. So we got the food. Is there an ultimate sustainable diet? Is it? Can we just pick one diet, be like, okay, vegan, you're sustainable because you're vegan, because you're saving all the animals and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, cool, you vegan, but you go to Whole Foods and you buy all of these foods that got all of these plastic wraps on them. Okay, you got all these papers and things left over when you're done because you're buying a lot of the processed vegan foods and stuff like that. When you talk about being a pescatarian, we know what all of the issues with that, from fish swallowing plastic bags to all types of pollution, mercury and things and such. And then of course you got the whole farm raised situation where you got fish, millions and millions, probably billions of fish being raised in the farm, and we eat it. Well, folks is eating it. Then you got your omnivores, man. Like, you already know how omnivores, a lot of them get down. They'll just let you know straight up, they don't give a damn. Like, they like, this is sustainable. This is the circle of life. To them, that's the circle of life, So it make you wonder, like, okay, is there a true sustainable diet? And what I'm starting to see again, and this goes back to the whole energy problem that we're going to talk about further. I feel the whole sustainability movement is, again, it's like a marketing tactic. It's pretty much a marketing tactic. I don't feel that you can be truly sustainable in any of these lifestyles unless there's a certain amount of self-sustainability, which means that you need to be kind of providing some of these things for yourself at a certain percentage, especially nowadays. So when you talk about sustainability, and the reason why is because, again, when we do a lot of grocery shopping and stuff like that, we are buying a lot of items that have a lot of plastics, lots of cardboards and all kind of things that's wrapped in, and packaging. Just packaging alone, if we just start setting all of our packaging and stuff to the side alone, we'll start seeing just how much waste will build up. Okay. So the food lifestyle, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Just me being a vegan and kind of living this lifestyle the last 6 years of my life, and looking at how the world has kind of transformed under this guise of plant-based eating and veganism and all of that. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't think at this point there's no big dog in the game when it comes to who's the most sustainable as far as the food. I think all of it needs a rewrite. As a society, we just gotta change how we think about the food we're receiving. It's not sustainable. And it's interesting because we kind of jump over a lot of things to call something sustainable, but it's like, okay, there's a lot of breaks. It's choppy. You know what I'm saying? It's not a consistent line of sustainability, and it's not the little people's fault on either end, because you got a lot of local people and villages and on different farms who are doing things in a sustainable way, but to get the things to us, or how they preserve it or how they package it so they could get it to the mainstream and turn their profit, sometimes it's not the most sustainable way. So it's like, I really have to think about that even as a vegan. Like, okay, am I being the most sustainable as a vegan? Am I growing my food? Am I planting anything? Honestly, that's the sustainability. And also, we do got to talk about this, because agriculture and farming is of the utmost importance. That's the true sustainability. Turning the soil. It's as simple as that. And we got to talk about the fake meats. All right. So I don't know if you got a chance to see Soylent Green, but if you haven't, go check it out, y'all. It's a really good movie. And it's kind of almost detailing what's happening now with the fake meat taking over and the heavily processed vegan foods, and trying our best to get people so excited about veganism to the point where we're trying to make all of these little alternatives for people. And I could care less for doing these things for people, because that's not why I'm making the choices I'm making. And I think it's, again, it's an agenda. Like, we talking about the whole thing. Like, there can never be no real movement if you don't allow like an organic movement to take place based off the true information and the true observation and critical thought that can be reflected. They're not allowing that to happen. So this discussion that I'm having, it might be brand new to some people. And trust me, in the coming months, like, more people are going to be talking about this, about how certain things really aren't that sustainable, at least what they're trying to push. There are real serious ways that we can be more sustainable, but we got to get there. Is all I'm saying. I'm just trying to be realistic about what sustainability is. How do we actually move the meter in some real way, because I mean, I'm just looking at what I'm seeing. The fake meats ain't it. Okay. If the Beyond Meats and all of that, peace, love, and light, all the people that's in the chat too. I appreciate y'all for coming and rocking with me on my live. Yes, let's see. Yes, thank you. Yes, like it and share and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. All right, I appreciate that. But yeah, man, I want to have a real sustainability conversation, because come on, man. I don't want us to keep getting swindled by these agendas and these campaigns. They just kind of rush over us, and we kind of get caught up in them before we know it. And I'm just trying to use my little bit of voice that I have to, like I said, critically think. Okay, critically think about what's happening, observe what you're seeing, and really come to some real conclusions about what's happening. And I think, I'm not doing this so that you can agree with me. I'm just doing it just to give you some extra perspective, insight, so you can start thinking about things differently. And that's the other issue with the agenda now. There's never an opposite or antithesis or any other rivaling idea or component that can be discussed. It's always just this one way, and it's disgusting and sad. So I don't want to keep seeing that. So I'm like, okay, let's talk about it then. The fake meat, though, I do think we need to stop being so dependent on it. It went from being like, the soy and the wheat gluten, and now it's some whole other stuff. We don't even know what it is anymore. It's like, how far have we gone to act like we don't want meat, but low key we still want it. I think we need to kind of get over that with ourselves. If you're a vegan and you're really kind of struggling, I think you need to just have a real conversation with yourself, because you don't want to end up like the Soylent Greeners. You don't want to end up like that. You don't want to end up kind of worse off. And I'm just saying this as a vegan. I'm just trying to be real. I've even had to check myself, because I'm like, I have to adopt a whole foods plant-based diet, and really be in the lifestyle of that and making those choices. Because again, a lot of, and then with the vegan restaurants and things that's popping up, they become dependent on it. I remember just a few short years ago, before certain fake meat companies were very popular, there were restaurants that would hand pack their own veggie patties. Do you know I miss that? I know there are plenty of vegan restaurants, vegetarian restaurants out there that's still doing it, and I commend y'all, and y'all need to keep doing that, because we like hand packed veggie patties. I like a little paste in my patty. Okay, I like it to almost fall apart just ever so slightly. That mean it ain't no BS in it. It ain't all that wheat gluten in it. That's good for me, That might not be good for the steak eater, and but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm the customer that's cool with that. And I think again that's part of the sustainability conversation too, because what's the true production process of these meats? And what's the waste? You're talking about all kind of pea proteins and things, and we don't know how this stuff is really made, and the texture of it is funny. And I mean, I'm just being real. Y'all can hate it, love it, or judge it for whatever y'all want. But if you have dealt with the fake meats and things like that, it is a little weird. It's a little weird, and I'm just bringing it up. Okay. Soylent Green. I'm not sure where you can watch. I definitely should have did my research and found out if it was on Amazon or something like that. But it is an older movie, so it has to be somewhere out there for free. It might even be on YouTube. It might be. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all feel about the fake meats. How y'all feel? I personally don't recommend it as a transitional tool for people who's trying to get off of meat. I don't recommend it. It's just too much of something to be dependent on, and we don't know the effects of this stuff. Okay, so just stick with your zucchinis and your squashes, and every now and then, if you're gonna eat your little brown rice, do that. But just whole foods. Okay, starting with whole foods, learning how to be okay with eating a freshly baked squash with some sauteed spinach in it. Learning to be okay with those things. And before you try to jump off the deep end making all of these kind of super intense vegan dishes and stuff like that, which I have you signing up for the fake meat burgers and stuff like that. So learning how to make your own veggie burgers at home. You can make like a whole batch, a whole bowl of veggie burgers, portion it out, pat them, put them on a parchment paper, freeze them, and you will have veggie burgers for the next month. Excuse me. So that's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? And then that's, again, you're saving money on packaging when you buying whole fruits and vegetables. If you buy a squash and stuff like that, like I'm getting into that, and we're going to talk about that too on a little our eco Lord Jesus, girl, remember the name of your own segment on the eco information segment. All right, so we are going to talk about different ways that when you're grocery shopping and stuff like that. But even just think about it. I remember Whole Foods, like going to Whole Foods a lot, and they would have like the cubed up butternut squashes. But again, that would be in a package. It's like, girl, just buy the dang on butternut squash, soak it, and clean it how you're going to do. Peel the sticker off. And that is the most of your waste, is that sticker. Not only are you eating whole foods, but you're also not like wasting one of the little grocery store bags. And you also have to waste any extra packaging. You don't have to worry about recycling it. And speaking of recycling, we're going to get on recycling's head very soon. Okay. And these topics are kind of rough. I'm picking them, and as I'm discussing them, I'm like, wow, like we're all red-handed in this, including me. Like, this is not something anybody's going to be able to see. People let them get on, do these little exposés on folks, and it's always like this little thing where you can point this finger. Like, no, these topics are everybody's responsibility, especially this one. But yeah, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know about the fake meats. Yay, nay. The last thing I want to discuss before we talk about a little bit of the cultural aspect of downsizing and sustainability is clothing. Now we know that there's a lot of issues with clothing manufacturing. From not people, poor working labor conditions, people not being paid a living wage. But there's also a whole nother aspect of it, which is the environmental aspect. Some of the dyes that are used during production, how the materials are sourced, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but there's a whole industry that involves making synthetic fibers. And those, they're made out of different esters and things like that. But I mean, it really just comes down to them being plastics. Okay. Excuse me. How sustainable are they? How sustainable are these factories and the dyes are they using? How reputable is their merchandising chain? Because a lot of these clothing chains, like, they have a murky merchandising chain. Like, you're not able to trace it back. They don't do things in house. They outsource a lot of things. And this is why I choose to sell American made clothing. For the most part, this is why I try to pick clothing that has sustainable fabrics and things, and really starting to make those conscious steps, because it only gets deeper from here. You only take more responsibility from here on out, but really starting to make those conscious steps to wear better clothing. Yeah, we got to get there. Because the truth of the matter is, everybody's not going to thrift. And there's a time and a place. Like, I had a whole thrifting phase, but then it's a phase where I went back where I'm like, okay, I really want like new clothing for myself. Like, it was a value thing for myself. And I went through it. It's not that I don't like thrifting anymore. It's just that I really wanted to change how I thought about myself and how I thought about my closet. Okay, but how do I do that in a sustainable way? So yeah, I definitely started looking at what I was wearing, where did it come from, how it was made, the price of the clothes, noticing there's a huge difference in clothing being made in the Western Hemisphere and the price. And I know you guys notice it too. Things that are usually made over in the East are a lot cheaper. Why is that? You got to start asking yourself that question, is it worth the extra $25 or $20 you're going to spend on an outfit if you know that whoever made it, was in a proper working conditions, that they're getting paid a fair wage? Does that even matter to you? And to me, it does. It started mattering to me, because I think things that you're passionate about, it starts mattering. I'm very passionate about fashion. I'm very passionate about what I wear. And that started to really itch at me. I was like, it started to keep me from really selling clothes and doing things that I wanted to with Trapper Oracle, because it itched at me so bad that I knew the whole merchandising chain is not set up proper. Okay. And with that being said, if you're into merchandising, if you're into fashion, if you're into all of that, hit me up. Because I love learning about merchandising, how clothes are made, supply chains. Like, I'm not afraid to ask that when I purchase clothing, verifying that the things are made where they say they're made at. That matters to me. Also, too, you'll notice, like, I try not to get too many crazy dyes, or if I do, they're like more approved dyes and things. And that's another thing too. We don't know what the effect of those dyes are on the skin. A lot of us have breakouts, rashes, all kinds of things that pop up. It could be from the factory conditions and all of that stuff. So I think that goes into the whole sustainability talk. Y'all have to excuse me. Also, there's all of this talk about getting rid of your clothes, and yeah, I don't know about all of that. Like I said, I'm into fashion, and I have people that are totally like upcycle geniuses. Shout out to Revamp Clothing. She's back in Detroit now, but you can look her up. Yeah, the Revamp Clothing Swap. So there's places like clothing swaps where you can bring your clothes, you can swap them out for new threads. You can also go thrifting. You can donate your stuff and then go thrift and pick stuff out. Or you could even start your own little secret clothing circle swap within your own friend community and have some really dope stuff going. But to just start getting rid of all of your stuff and all of that, no, that's too drastic. What I do feel though is that we can start integrating our closets with more usable items, or items with more replay or re-wear value. Okay. I find that denim is a really good item to keep in your closet for rewear. So pants, denim shirts, denim dresses, denim jackets are always going to be a staple. All right. Another thing I love to keep in my closet is sets, because it's like sets that you know you would never throw away. Those are the things that stay in rotation in my closet, because it's like most days I'm just trying to throw something on. You know what I'm saying? Most days I'm not trying to be like America's Next Top Model. So I think that's part of the sustainability talk too, is actually having items that are wearable in your closet that have rewear value. And this is a big, big thing, especially ladies. I'm going to say it today. It needs to have rewash value too, ladies. And men too. Y'all can't be buying them cheap clothes and then y'all wash them once and they start falling apart on y'all. The threads start coming loose, and change it up. Change it up. Because when you buy, at least when I buy a pack of t-shirts, them t-shirts need to last at least 6 months to a year. I know white t-shirts usually, I know how y'all is, but I'm like, honey, if you don't get you some borax and a little bit of splash of bleach and keep it moving with them white t-shirts, you'll be fine. But I'm that kind of girl. I'm like, is it gonna look the same when I rewash it? A lot of clothes get wasted and thrown out. So I'm like, we need to just stop buying cheap ass clothes. You stop buying cheap ass clothes, then you keep your things longer. And I think that's part of the clothing thing too. We need to start eliminating clothing manufacturers that's making cheap ass clothes. I'm just being real, because it's a waste of money. Okay. Y'all wasting people's money. Y'all wasting people's time, and y'all getting nowhere. Okay. Because the person's going to wear the little outfit once. Okay. If they lucky, if it even fit right. And that's the other thing too. Bad clothing manufacturing. When it's cheap, the fit is off, the material is atrocious. You better not stand nowhere near flame with anything cheaply made. Okay. And it's a host of all kind of other problems that come with those type of cheap clothes, and along with the fact that you can't rewear them again a lot of times. So I'm just being I'm just trying to be real. I'm not trying to put a price tag on what you should wear or anything like that. But I do feel like you pay for what you get, what you pay for. Okay. So if you constantly like, okay, I'm only getting cheap, it's just clothes, it's just this, it's just that, you're never thinking about, okay, this is up against my skin. I'm going to be going to sleep in this, or I'm working in this all day. Maybe it should be something that I don't know, treating your skin like baby skin. Like I'll be telling people like, okay, if you wouldn't rub a baby skin that hard, why would you rub your skin that hard? Start treating yourself like a baby, in a sense that you are gentle and that you're worthy of delicate softness, and start thinking about the clothing you wear like that too. And I think you will really start changing. Okay, I need more sustainable clothing. I need things that it's going to last in my closet a little longer. All right. So these celebrities have been and talked you out of everything. They've been and talked you out of every single thing. Okay. I do feel like, okay, like let's talk about Elon Musk a little bit. I'm name dropping. Elon Musk. Oh my God. Ugh. Some people love him. Some people hate him. I don't really know. I don't really have an opinion. I'm just kind of like, why are you promoting this fake sustainable lifestyle, dude? I'm personally not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying you living in a $50,000 home, bro. Just not. I'm not going for it. And I don't think it's fair that you're promoting these tiny lifestyles to people, trying to get them to give away all of their possessions. And That sounds like a cult to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna start giving away all of my possessions and like just go live real small and stuff like that and da da da. Again, like I said, if this is what you was cut out to do in your life, I'm not gonna deter you, okay? But I'm just saying some of the images that we're getting from some of these celebrities is talking about, oh, and like the Warren Buffett's talking about giving away his wealth and things, but he really didn't give away his wealth. He kind of distributed it to different companies and organizations that his children, and it was all nepotism in the end. So, I just find it strange that a lot of influencers and celebs, they kind of promote this lifestyle, but I feel like if we kind of look behind that camera, it wouldn't be so much like that. There are a lot of programs, organizations that promote sustainability, but again, a lot of it has to do with climate change. A lot of it has to do with the recycling, and they're not really kind of talking about sustainability. They're not really talking about, like, again, with the clothing. They're talking about, okay, let's recycle the clothing. Let's recycle the clothing. They're not really talking about quality of clothing, quality manufacturers, kind of that other side of the issue. We do need to talk about waste for clothing and things, especially like after they're done cutting out patterns and stuff for say 100 pairs of jeans. You know how much leftover material there is? Like, we can and should be using those materials for things. I don't think it's beyond us as a society. What I'm saying is we also have to look at the quality of things we are making and the rewear and the rewash value of those things. Are we keeping things in our closet? On average, how long are you keeping something in your closet? And when I say keeping something, you have to be wearing it too. If you didn't wear it, if you ain't wearing it, you ain't keeping it, because what's it doing in your closet? But yeah, they're not really talking about that elephant in the room like I need them to talk about. A lot of world cultures that live sustainable, like Sweden. Oh yeah, because they're freaking perfect. We love Sweden, right? But yeah, they got like ranked number 1 for being the most sustainable, and I think New Zealand is next. All right, so let's just connect some dots. So number 1, I don't think small living is equatable to sustainable living. Okay, let's just get that out the way. It's not, they're not mutually exclusive. I don't think living smaller is going to make you sustainable. Again, when we're talking about energy and what you're using as a human and stuff like that, for one, I feel like you're afforded, it's your birthright to use energy. And 2, it's not really the energy so much that you're using, it's more so the energy source. All right. That's point number 2. Energy source is more important than energy use. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. All right, we talk about tiny homes, food, and clothing, and all of those things require energy, either to produce, make, or sustain. All right. And I do feel like the source of energy is more important. That's why you have the solar panels. Like, why isn't that like the thing, the only thing? And like, oh my God, if you don't have solar panels, you're like living in the Stone Ages. That should be a thing, especially in places like where it could obviously be the thing, like Texas and Arizona and any place south of there. Come on now. Everybody in Florida should have some type of solar power, something running a whole get up by now. And they keep trying to say, okay, don't use a lot of energy, turn your lights off, turn this off. And I agree with that. I don't think you should just waste energy. That's not what I am saying. But what I'm saying is they're trying to get you to downsize out of your life and get you to stop enjoying the things that you enjoy, because they pretty much trying to hoard the energy for themselves. And they're not really, these are the people who are in charge. They're not really doing the things that they should be doing to make sure that we all are living very, very sustainably, like truly sustainable. Because I feel like if you were able to sustain, because let's go back. The definition of sustainability. To be able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. I feel like we should be able to maintain at a certain rate and level. And use the type of energy we're using. Yes, it's a lot of computers and things like that, but I'm like, we have other ways to produce energy now in 2022 at this point, about to be. Convincing everyone to downsize while the rich lives however they want. Live and let live. Okay. That's not gonna happen. What we can do though is start teaching everybody how to just live a little bit more sustainably, okay? Growing our own food, getting less packaging at the grocery store, have, I don't know, nationwide policies that institute absolutely no plastic bags whatsoever. That's done. Why haven't we killed that? There's been a lot of places that have tried, they've been trying, but you get so many plastic bags from takeout and make you not even want to eat out. Just saying, man. Our society is advanced enough to create viable, sustainable solutions for all Americans. Why haven't they? See how quick they erected 5G towers. They could just as easily erect free energy technology. All right? Free energy technology is no secret. Other energy sources is not a secret anymore. Like, what I'm saying is not even a conspiracy. It's like not even anything but like the truth. Like, why haven't we done this? Why aren't the people in charge doing these things? I'm sorry. Like, who's going to ask these questions? I'm asking them. Like, nobody's asking the real questions. Why are we sitting here having conversations about energy conservation and people's energy bill are off the roof? We should not be paying for this because energy is free. The sun come up every single day. Why are we not? First of all, I believe there's a power generator at the Hoover Dam. So they generate electricity there. Y'all could be generate electricity like that everywhere. There's wind turbines. We can be harnessing the energy of natural disasters like hurricanes and things like that. You know how fast the wind blows during a hurricane or a tropical storm? Why are we harnessing all of that energy? Come on, man. Like, think what you got. Think with your head. And then people want to come and say, okay, we got all of this going and we got all of that going, and it's not that easy. Yeah, because they don't want it to be that easy. You guys, they don't want it to be just as easy as sustainability. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see on the Oracle report. I want y'all to see sustainability. What they're saying it is not what it is. Okay, they're trying to talk you out of building whatever it is you're building with your gray mind, using less energy and having you constantly feel like you're in a deficit. That's not sustainable. Okay? And you know, the institutions that are pushing those things and are trying to limit instead of coming up with true real solutions, shame on them, because y'all actually have the power. I'm just one person with a webcam on YouTube. Okay, I don't have any power to do all this. All I have is my voice to speak up and say shame on y'all. Y'all are policymakers. Y'all should not be listening to lobbyists. Period. Y'all should not be allowing anything other than the truth and the high science to prevail. And y'all should be listening to we the people. Period. When it comes to this sustainability, like the farmers, and they should be getting the utmost respect on this land. And from the things that I've been hearing, I'm not going to get into it, they haven't. You know, so I just want to shout out to the farmers, the agriculturalists, the people who out here putting their hands in dirt. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are doing a thankless job. We appreciate y'all. I'm right there with you. Okay. But no, that's a serious thing, man. I do feel like there is not enough haste with these certain kind of issues, and it does cause me a lot of disdain for society, because you know, they do a lot of other things very quickly with the quickness, and it's a shame. It's a shame that they don't find these things to be important, that it's not on like number one on their list, you know, top priority. You know, they just kind of sitting around and talking about it all day, but we've seen how they're able to actually institute policies in real life with the quickness. And what I'm saying is, y'all haven't done these things, so shame on y'all. That's all I'm saying. And then trying to talk people out of using energy. What? There is an agenda to convince the general public of scarcity, as I just mentioned. Earth is the material realm. There exists no such scarcity so long as we are here. I'll say that again. Earth is the material realm. There exists no such scarcity as long as we are here. Period. Okay? The idea is damaging to humans. It is. It devalues their worth and takes for granted the natural pact made between God, humans, and nature. Humans are the landlords of Earth. So saying there isn't enough for me, you're telling me there's not enough Earth for me and that I don't belong here. And that is a great sin and a very bad mistake on your behalf. Poor mistake to say that. I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. That's just a poor mistake. It's a poor mistake to say something like that to some humans, to say, oh, it's not enough. There's no room. There's no this. And I say, and I drive the country roads and see how much land we have to grow soybeans. Stop, you guys. Stop. We're not about to keep dealing with this. We don't want to continue devaluing our lives by downsizing and constantly dequantifying ourselves. Organization, yes. Hygiene, yes. True sustainability and self-sufficiency, yes. But devaluing ourselves and our lives, like, again, is a crucial mistake. It's a crucial mistake. And what that's going to do too is it's going to give very self-serving humans, other humans, some type of pseudo right to feel that way about other humans that they think are not good enough to be here. Y'all seeing where this whole sustainability conversation is talking about something much bigger than fossil fuels? They really wanted to get to a point where they want people to feel like their life is really greater than the next person's life. That's not healthy. And that's also not in harmony with the true divine order on earth. All right. You know, I'll leave that there. I said what I said, but again, I feel like a lot of this sustainability talk, it devalues us as humans, man. And we got serious issues around this topic that have to be addressed because we are very wasteful and we are very polluting as humans. But the way that we're going about it and the topics that they're choosing to pick out and pick apart are not helping the situation overall. Lastly, job creation. They're always talking about a dang on job. There's a whole sector of employment that could be created based off of sustainability issues. Like every single sustainability issue there's a whole job sector created off of it. From just simply picking up the trash. Like you want to do a program similar to jury duty and stuff like that. Okay, well, if you live in this county and you sign up for then you got to pick trash up or something. Like make it, don't even make it a requirement. Make it a thing that people do because they live in the community. And I get it. Other communities are less motivated than some. But you let them people show their asses and show how trifling they is by not wanting to clean up their community. But I almost want to guarantee you, I swear, if there was like advocates in the community, because I've seen it happen. My grandmother did this. And she's the reason why her block is still strong and hanging on to today. And it's getting revamped now because my grandmother would organize block cleanups. And I was actually part of one. They cleaned up the block, had the city sweepers come in. They cleaned up all the crud out the curb. We painted all the curbs down, painted new addresses on the curbs for everybody. Was helping folks clean their yard, was cleaning the street. There was like a field across the street. They was helping kind of just keep that tidied up. And now there's new people moving on the block. Somebody is buying a field, doing gardening in it. and this is up there in Detroit. So I'm like, seeing things like that happen and knowing, okay, people do really need leaders in the community. They do need that. And I do feel, if we're able to be just a little bit more encouraging about that, we can clean up and stop polluting as much. But just off of job creation alone, just professional street hygienists, come on, man. They could be making their money, man. And that's a thankless job, but it's a job we need. And I always have a high respect for anybody who does any type of hygienic work, janitors, cenas, people who wipe folks' booty for a living, who we was talking about a couple weeks ago, housekeepers, any of those people, man, because a lot of people want to look down on folks, but I'm like, see, some jobs y'all just wouldn't do. Y'all wouldn't get it. Y'all just wouldn't do. But yeah, man, it's just a couple little points on sustainability, few points on kind of my take on how I see the whole situation. And if I may revise my hypothesis or revise my theorem for you guys, I believe it is incumbent upon humans to update our ecological processes, including waste management, like recycling, energy source and use, and our manufacturing processes, as well as food production processes. All right. It's imperative. We got to change it. That much is settled. Although our sustainable practices need an upgrade, okay, it is unnecessary to compact people's lives via living conditions, as it is absolutely possible to create highly sustainable environments while preserving many attributes of modern life and contemporary lifestyles. You hear that, folks? You ain't got to give up everything, but if we just make a couple conscious choices over the next few years and be diligent about being self-sufficient and sustaining ourselves, we can pretty much the way I'm thinking about it, I'm like, we don't have to really give up too many conveniences of modern life. We don't. We got to get rid of this food packaging crap, though. It got to be to the point where we go, we can't have all of these people making beans and stuff like that and be like, okay, every single one, they got to have their name on this bag, or it needs to be a biodegradable bag or something. But I know, like, a lot of times, I try to shop in the bulk aisle. Like when I was living in Dallas, I used to love going to Winco because they had the bulk aisle. That'll help cut down on some packaging, especially if you bring your own packaging with you. Trying to think of some of the other ways for all the meat eaters, going to the deli and, you get the paper. I know that's usually the paper. They wrap your stuff in paper. So I know that helps cut down on packaging, but just cutting down on the plastic when you go and you do, like, say you want to get, I don't know, something you would need a plastic bag for at the grocery store, like plums. I'm about to get several plums. So you have to have a plastic bag. Changing those bags for something that is a reusable kind of grocery or produce bag. They have those now. You can make your own, but really starting to adopt those practices. I know I am a reusable bag head at the grocery store. That's what I do. I love it. But really just making some true conscious choices. And then, of course, actually picking up all of the trash that just been laying around. That's a really big part of changing our ways, man. But yeah, all right, so let's get into it. I want to talk a little bit about recycling. Let me show you guys this. So let's get into the recycling, man. Ooh. All right, we are in Eco Info. All right, so here's the problem. Waste management. We already know we got an issue with waste management. Like that's the sustainability conversation right there. We need to talk about that. Because I think they think they're like kind of making us all kind of chill out by like, okay, just recycle and everything will be okay, and we'll just worry about climate change. Like, no. A lot of our issues are coming from waste. Okay, we have a waste problem across the world. Do you understand? And it's a big waste problem from human excretion waste. Look up in India there is a place right off the Tigris River, Ganges River. It's a big river that flows through India. I know I'm terrible, but anyway, but if you type up Big India and river, you'll find it. But they have a waste issue where they don't got no plumbing and people defecate publicly. So you just walk past piles of crap. So we got those kind of waste problems where it's like, okay, y'all living in modern civilization, but y'all ain't got waste systems. And it's not just Indian. I'm not about to just get on them. That's happening in a lot of different places that you might not even know about. That's happening here. Okay. People having plumbing issues and things like that, and we're having waste issues with that, with the waste management. The other big thing is we got landfills. You already know about that. The landfills be going ham. I remember somebody on St. Thomas was telling us about a landfill that they've seen get bigger and bigger over the years. They was like, yeah, I remember when it was like little, and then 20 years later, it's like a whole half a mile high now. Come on, man. The landfills, man, is getting deep out here. And then this brings me to the cream of the crop, the cream waste management issue of the crop, which is plastic. Plastic is like, it's a menace. It's a menace. First of all, plastics are made from fossil fuels. So yeah, there's that. There's the whole petroleum thing again, where we're using that. And they're made in all different kind of ways. And I don't know if you guys ever notice when you're looking at a package that you have, a lot of the plastic packaging will have a number on it. This number dictates how these things can be recycled. And at what rate they can be recycled to. So when they go to the recycling facility, if they even make it there, that's number one. It's called a MRF, a material recovery facility. And that's where they kind of filter out all the recycled materials, what's usable, what's not. From my research, I'm finding it's a vast majority of this stuff, like 80% upwards of, maybe and some, that's not even recyclable. So you're putting stuff in your recycling bins, they taking it there, and it's like they're not even able to recycle a lot of that stuff. Some of these plastics on here, based on the number, they could even be harmful when burned or melted. They release harmful chemicals like hydrochloric acid was one of them. Yes, man. In the plastic. The plastic that we drinking out of, plastic that baby food comes in. Yes. Plastic is a problem, man. So yeah, we got 1 through 7 with the recycling thing, man. It's really, really kind of crazy. These materials find and not even really useful. So this is a problem. This is a very, very, very big problem. The solution is not something we can really even cover in a few minutes of this segment, but I can give you guys a really good start where I feel like, we can really start making an impact. We have to cut out the plastic. We have to. Another thing we're going to have to do, and there's some There's some hygiene issues involved in this. This is not a completely linear solution. It's going to take a lot of thinking to kind of get there, but we have to get rid of the single-use packaging. It's time. It's time for us as a society to just get rid of it. We don't need it. Okay? I mean, we have reusable everything now. And we've always had reusable everything. We were clay pot shorties a couple hundred years ago. We have to go back to that. Because a clay pot, you could use it 100 times before it gets old or cracks or whatever. We already know that bottled water, that's if you drink it. I mean, you're just going to throw that away in the trash. We got to get rid of the plastics, man. And we have to start reusing packaging. When we use up a pound of beans, we got to use that same bag, take it to the grocer, get another 3 pounds of beans or a pound of beans. It just has to be that way, man. And like I said, it's going to take some time and logistics and some hygiene, but that seems like the only viable solution. When you think about the markets in Morocco and how you see the little pictures where you got all the little markets and they got these big burlap bags of beans and spices and all kind of things. It's like, it makes you think. Or they might have a fish wrapped up in banana leaf or something like that. It makes you think, okay, how did we do it back in the day? How can we adapt these ancient ways to that were very sustainable and modernize them so that they're still sustainable and also convenient. I don't feel like we have to cheat ourselves out of convenience in this sustainable lifestyle. I just don't. I do feel like we can have it all. We just got to be smart. And we can't be fooling ourselves thinking this whole recycling thing is what it is. It's not. It's not what it is. We got to get rid of plastic because guess what? When it gets recycled, what happens after it gets recycled? It gets turned into something less valuable than what it even was. So let's say it was a baby bottle and they recycled the baby bottle. It's going to get turned into a plastic bag. It's useless. So what's the whole point of plastic? Like, there's no point. We need to get rid of it. I'm sure there are a lot of very important applications for plastics and all of that, and yeah, I'm willing to hear about them, but the basic uses that we have for it today don't make no sense. Glass and metal have very high recycle rates. So metal, of course, aluminum, steel, all of those things can be retransformed back into stuff. They could be used for building materials. Speaking of building materials, that's one of the very viable solutions to the plastic issue, because it's like we're not going to be able to recycle all of that, but we probably can gather those things, clean them, and use them as building materials, along with some of them recycled metals and recycled woods and other things. But like wood and metal and all of that, they can be repurposed, recycled. Old granite countertops and stuff. It's like you can just throw that back in the ground. It's a rock. You know what I'm saying? But plastic, honey, that's a whole nother story. We don't even want to start talking about what the biodegradable, how long it takes to degrade. Whew. And then they want to talk about climate change and global warming. Let me tell you something. When that plastic start decomposing in them landfills, yeah, there goes your global warming. Have you guys ever seen a compost pit or pile? Yeah, that thing be smoking, and that's just regular organic materials, non-man-made. Can you imagine having the synthetic materials? Yeah, like I said, we have a real problem, and it's not because we're not recycling. The sustainability talk goes way deeper than you recycling some plastic bags. Okay, is it really sustainable? Is it really useful, the materials that we're recycling? Or do we need another real solution that they keep trying to get out of by saying, just recycle your bags? They just trying to get out of the real truth of it, and that is it's all a waste of time and money and resources. And yeah, it is heavier, and that's why I'm saying it's a lot of logistics to cover. Because if you start putting everything in glass or putting everything in bamboo wood, I'm sure it's going to be heavier, and that's going to cost more in shipping. And then you got to pay the drivers more because it takes longer to haul more. I get it. But at what cost are we going to do all this plastic stuff then, hun? By the way, plastics are made out of fossil fuels. I don't know. Never mind. You guys, I don't know. You do the math on your own and you come back and we'll talk about it, okay? Let's look at the comments though. I totally agree. Amazon claimed you can recycle those blue and white bags. Yeah. Not one store I called knew what I was talking about, so now I just throw them in the garbage. Yeah. Yes. Shipping packaging is a huge thing with the biodegradable and the plastics. And again, I'm doing my best to try to figure out what's the best thing to do too, because it's like, yeah, it does seem like cardboard probably is the best way to go. But yeah, I've seen it on the Amazon packages. It's crazy. But yeah, back to the fossil fuels. So they made out of fossil fuels, the plastics, right? Who does that serve? In the world of Teslas, and every single car company now has an electric car now. Just saying. It's sad. It's sad. So yeah, I guess we can kind of discuss the impact of making some of these changes. Again, like I said, I know it might be more expensive and human labor and getting things shipped, because putting everything in glass and all of that, it is a higher markup or a higher margin of cost. But if there's some type of program where we're able to, I don't know, have universal packaging for certain things, because again, we're coming from, not me particularly, but just society is coming from an age of the milkman, where the milkman dropped the milk off to you at the door and you put your empty bottles out and it was reusable. There weren't cartons you were throwing away every time you went to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Where you would get your loaf of bread from the actual bakery. You know what I'm saying? And they will slice it for you and they'll put it in a paper bag or something like that. Or you might just carry the whole loaf out in the bag with spinach and everything. You might have been on that. The impact of this though is we've become a lot more conscious, and maybe not us, but our children. Like again, I know it's a lot of people who really don't care about this. They don't really understand or see the importance of what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you guys, it's going to be increasingly important to be more conscious about how we're going about our sustainability. Okay, so you can either fool yourself or you could be real with yourself. And that's why you got a lot of folks now growing their own food. They're canning their own vegetables. They're doing all of this stuff on their own. They're getting mason jars and doing their own preserves because they're seeing what it is. It's just gonna keep you just gonna keep building up more and more waste. The more you keep messing with these folks out here. Y'all was about to give me the cussing. All right, so yes, I wrote down advanced remediation protocols. All right, so let's talk about remediation and phytoremediation. That's a real big part of kind of reclaiming Earth, just in regards to the pollution and everything. Phytoremediation is just the process of using plants to kind of clean up polluted areas in nature. And I feel like we can use a lot of those things. I know there's plants out there that are able to decompose plastic. They talk a lot about certain funguses being able to decompose plastic. Now, the other aspect to that is those microplastics getting into the food source. So I had this chart up here the whole time, but if you're looking at this chart, you'll see, these things get left on the ground. We're not thinking about the impact of it being left off on the freeway, on the side of the freeway for 20 years. These things are leaching into the water. They are leaching into the crops. We got to pick this crap up and do something with it, not make more of it. And that's why I'm being very serious about the conversation, because when you just think about it, it's just more and more plastic and more plastic and more plastic. You finish one bottle of water, you need another one. You finish another one. This not gonna work, y'all. This not gonna work. This not gonna work for us. This is old. So we desperately need to find some phytoremediation tools and techniques. We desperately need to remove all plastics from our neighborhoods, our schools, everything. Get it completely cleaned up and start putting these plastics somewhere, because it don't seem like there's really a real resting place for these things. When you think about metal, when you think about metal, paper, a lot of these kind of more organically made, not non-synthesized materials and stuff like that, there's more of a resting place. Steel can go on the ground, it's going to rust, it's going to oxidize, and eventually to break down back into minerals, and it'll be back in the soil. And the plants, so they'll phytoremediate that. Yeah, paper, plastic. I'm trying to think of all the things that they accept at the recycling center, you guys. It's metal, paper, plastic, and glass. Yes. Glass is I knew it was something else. Glass is very another good example of something easy to recycle. Okay. It's a viable material, and it could be renewed, it could be reshaped, and used for different things. And then that's the other thing too. You can use glass, you can make pot holders and stuff out of old bottles and things like that. But glass is highly recyclable. So and it's also easy to disinfect the surfaces of it. So you're talking about reuse value and things like that. Glass is, come on, guys. Like, I know we gotta be more careful. It is heavier, but until we come up with better solutions on kind of single use packaging, or just getting out of single use packaging at all. I mean, those are kind of the things we're gonna have to do. It's kind of like boss up and be a human in 2022 or not. All right, with all of that being said, let's wrap this up with Oracle's mental message. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. You guys are really cool. You guys are super, super cool. Okay. In the now, sustainability means gaining optimal awareness. Okay. Huge changes can only be made when one is fully aware. Spreading awareness in loving ways can help speed the process. I hope I was loving. I know I was going off, but I hope I did it with love. I don't know. More time to adapt, but for such a worthy cause. So I just put that down because it is gonna take some time to adapt to this. I think we've been the convenience of single-use plastics and fast fashion has obliterated our ability to really kind of think past that moment and past the instant gratification. And that's not healthy for us anymore. And I'm just being a human that's recognizing it and saying, okay, let's start making some changes. Okay. Awareness is a huge part of sustainability. How are you going to know you need to change anything if you don't see the problem? So up until today, some people might not even look at plastic being a problem. They might have found it to be a lifesaver. But when they look at the waste, when they open a garbage can and they see, okay, this is just too much. Or every time they buy something, they constantly got to hurry up to clean their car out. because it's always some trash. I mean, just let that be your wake up call to let you know, they're trying to make the world our dump, and it's not. This is a place of love and harmony, and we need to get back to that. And we need to get back to the natural order of things, and we need to get out of being lazy. And get out of quick, fast, convenient. I don't want to have to throw the whole convenience word away. I don't think it needs to be thrown away, but I think we need to definitely rework how we think about convenience. I think that's fair. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, though. Tell me how you enjoyed the show. Do you guys feel different about sustainability now? Do you guys think, do you think I'm on to something? Do you think you being swindled or hoodwinked out of true sustainability as an American? Let me know. I want to know what you guys think. With that being said, though, I hope you guys got a good idea of at least my perspective on sustainability. Got you to think about some things, got you to think about your clothing closet, got you to think about your recyclables. And I don't know, maybe you'll start the garden this spring. You might be starting up your own garden, and more power to you if you are. More power to you if you are making your own clothes or you're selling American-made clothing like me. More power to you for getting your tiny house if you want your tiny house, because I'm not mad at that either. Like, get with it. Okay. And the people that's on their lifestyle changes, it's interesting. But the people that hunt their food, that grow their food, the people that get their food from farm to table, you gotta love it for whatever your beliefs are. So shout out to y'all too. All right. With that being said, visit trapwithoracle.com. I cannot believe I did not bring my planner down here, and I'm not going upstairs to get it. Oh my God, I'm so mad. Let me see if I can get a picture on here real quick. But yeah, check out trapwithoracle.com. You guys check out some of the things that I have. And you guys can look forward to some new items coming up on the site too. Oh, okay. Nope, don't have it. Okay, I just tried to share. And I'm not advanced at this yet. But yeah, check out trapwithoracle.com. I have calendars up there. Ladies, don't wait to the last minute to start planning out your year. I know New Year's Eve is tomorrow, but it's still not too late to get your calendar, get on track. Very important, all right? Especially for the new year, especially again when you are on your sustainability, when you are actually planning out your days, because you got to cook ahead of time. You cooking whole foods. You're not just buying something quick and throwing it in there. It is good to have a calendar to plan out those things, because when you live a very involved lifestyle like us, it comes down to the details, ladies. And I know y'all know about that. So check out the planner on trapwithoracle.com. Also check out the bamboo stuff I have. I have on something bamboo right now, of course, but I do have some other bamboo items I think you guys will love. Some really dope lounge stuff, super high quality yoga pants. Check those out. Lastly, for the night, I want you guys to know the brick and mortar for Trap with Oracle is still coming. All right, it's going to be here in 2022. January to be exact. The date will be dropping very soon for you guys. If you have not already RSVP for the grand opening, especially if you're coming to Atlanta, go to trapperoracle.com right to now. Okay, and you should see a banner at the top of the page that says two store grand opening in Atlanta. You put your email in there so I can send you an email invite when the time comes, because it's coming very soon. All right. If you don't see that banner up there, go to the contact page and fill out the contact form. Okay. And let me know you guys want to be alerted when the invites go out. All right. And I can make sure I do that for you. I'm really excited to bring the store to you guys. Of course, it's going to be fashion. It's going to be self-care items. And of course, I'm going to have my metaphysical items in there for you guys as well. And I'll have a few of my friends' items in there. So I'm really excited. I hope to see you guys out at the grand opening. And again, I really appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this live. This was the Oracle Report. We just obliterated sustainability, man. If you guys, again, I want feedback. So give me your feedback on the show. And I would greatly appreciate that. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of those things. Tell your grandma about the show. All right. She needs to hear about these things. And I'll appreciate that very, very much. With all that being said, I'll be coming back at you guys next week. Okay. I know I didn't come last week for Oracle Report, and that was on purpose. I wanted you guys to think and sulk. But I'll be back next week for you guys, nice and consistently. So look forward to the topic coming out. The next topic is very interesting too. So see you guys next week on the Oracle Report. Oh, thank you. Shout out to the wife and the daughter for watching. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, good evening. All right, y'all. Again, like I said, please send me some feedback. Let me know how the show is to you guys. Is it boring? Is it fun? Is it interesting? You like the topics? Do you hate them? I don't know. Let me know something. Or you can just put it in the comments. You put it all in the comments. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. All right. But until next week, peace out, y'all.